테슬라 모델 Y가 올해 1분기 전 세계 판매 1위를 기록했습니다. 전기차뿐만 아니라 내연기관차까지 모두 포함해서 1위를 기록한 것인데요. 정말 대단합니다. 이제 명실공히 모델 Y는 월드 베스트 셀링카가 되었습니다. 데이터 분석기관 자토는 전 세계 53개 자동차 시장의 판매 데이터를 분석해서 발표했는데요. 테슬라 모델 Y가 글로벌 판매 1위를 차지한 것입니다. 순수 전기차가 세계 1위에 오른 것은 이번이 처음인데요. 이 테슬라가 정말 대단한 일을 해냈네요. 모델 Y는 올해 1분기 26만 7,200대가 팔렸는데요. 전년 동기 대비로는 69%나 증가해서 토요타 코롤라 25만 6,400대, 하일럭스 21만 4,700대, 라브4 21만 1,000대, 캠리 16만 6,200대를 제치고 처음으로 글로벌 판매 1위에 올랐습니다. 모델 Y는 특히 미국과 중국, 유럽 시장에서 높은 성장을 기록했는데요. 토요타는 중국에서 판매량이 29% 감소했고 미국에서 판매량이 10% 감소한 것으로 나타났습니다. 2022년 연간 모델 Y 판매량은 74만 7,500대로 전년 대비 91%나 상승했었는데요. 이 폭발적인 판매량이었죠. 생산하면 다 팔린다는 말이 틀린 말이 아니었는데요. 올해에도 1분기에 내연기관차를 모두 포함해서 세계 1위가 되었으니 연말까지 계속해서 기록을 갱신하게 되지 않을까 생각해 봅니다. 2022년 8월 주주총회에서 일론 머스크는 모델 Y가 세계에서 가장 많이 팔리는 차가 될 것이라고 이야기를 했는데요. 당시에는 정말 그렇게 될까 생각하는 사람들이 많았죠. 그런데 채 1년도 되지 않아 그 말은 현실이 되었습니다. 늘 일론 머스크의 말은 들을 때는 의심으로 듣게 되지만 지나고 나면 역시 하게 되는데요. 이번에도 그렇게 된 것입니다. 테슬라는 작년 말부터 치킨 게임을 시작하며 가격을 지속적으로 인하해 왔고 세계 자동차 시장이 전기차로 전환되는 큰 변화 속에서 성능이 뛰어난 전기차 SUV에 대한 높은 인기로 인해 모델 Y의 수요가 꾸준히 늘어난 것으로 분석하고 있습니다. 자, 그런데 모델 Y가 월드 베스트 셀링카가 될 거라는 건 작년 주주총회에서 이야기를 하기도 했었지만 그보다 전인 2019년 3월 15일 모델 Y 발표회에서 일론 머스크가 자신있게 예언했던 것이기도 합니다. 모델 Y에 대한 자신감이 얼마나 컸으면 차를 출시하면서 이렇게 이야기를 했을까 싶은데요. 지금으로부터 3년 전인 2019년 3월 15일 모델 Y 발표회로 가보겠습니다. 테슬라 디자인 스튜디오에서 일론 머스크가 행사 게스트들을 즐거운 모습으로 맞이했는데요. 이렇게 많은 카메라는 태어나서 처음이라고 했습니다. 지금은 더 많은 카메라가 따라다니죠. 일론 머스크는 10년, 11년 전에 테슬라가 어디에 있었는지를 묻는데요. 이렇게 이야기를 합니다. 많은 사람들이 테슬라에 대해서 들어본 지가 불과 1, 2년밖에 되지 않았지만 그 사이에 많은 일들이 있었고 또 전기차에 대한 인식도 많이 달라졌다고 했습니다. 지금은 전기차를 좋아하는 것을 당연하게 여기지만 전기차가 매우 멍청해 보이던 때가 있었다라고 이야기를 했는데요. 이 자동차 회사를 만드는 일은 멍청한 짓이었고 전기차 회사를 만드는 것은 2배로 멍청한 짓이었다고 고백하면서 일론 머스크와 청중들 모두 크게 웃었는데요. 이 2배로 멍청하다고 생각하는 일에 도전했기 때문이었죠. 일론 머스크는 당시에 사람들이 생각하는 그런 전기차는 만들고 싶지 않았다고 고백했습니다. 무엇보다도 전기차에 대한 틀을 깨고 싶었다고 했는데요. 전기차는 느리고 못생기고 성능이 좋지 않다는 사람들의 고정관념을 깨뜨리고 싶었다고 했습니다. 그래서 멋진 스포츠카, 로드스터를 만들게 되었다고 했는데요. 아주 멋지고 섹시한 차라고 소개를 했죠. 그런데 아주 멋진 로드스터를 만들었더니 사람들은 이제 장난감 차라고 하며 놀렸다고 합니다. 그러면서 하는 말이 이 럭셔리 세단은 못 만들 거라고 했다는 거죠. 전기차는 휘발유차인 세단과는 경쟁이 안 된다고 하면서 말이죠. 그래서 일론 머스크는 또다시 결심했습니다. 그 말이 잘못되었다는 것을 증명하기 위해 세계 최고 퀄리티의 전기차 모델 S를 만들었다고 말이죠. 이 박수가 터져 나왔습니다. 참 사람들은 직접 눈으로 보지 않으면 이 가능성에 대해서도 폄하하는 경향이 있는데요. 일론 머스크의 가능성과 이 천재적인 능력에 대해서는 2019년 당시에도 많은 사람들이 부정했던 것 같습니다. 안타까운 일이죠. 그런데 전기차로의 전환이 쉬운 일만은 아니었는데요. 2008년 2월에 로드스터를 처음 만들게 되었는데 처음에는 작동도 잘 되지 않았고 고장도 많이 났다고 했습니다. 당연히 그랬겠죠. 전기차를 처음 만들어 봤으니까 말이죠. 자, 두 번째 차를 만드는 데까지는 3개월이 더 걸렸다고 하네요. 이 정말 쉽지 않았던 것 같습니다. 처음에 얼마나 엉망이었는지를 알 수가 있는데요. 그럼에도 불구하고 그런 기업이 10년이 지나서 누적 생산 대수 55만 대에 도달했으니 일론 머스크로서는 정말 감회가 새로웠을 것 같습니다. 모델 S를 디자인할 때는 이 디자인 스튜디오가 없어서 스페이스X의 로켓 공장 한 구석에서 차를 디자인하기 시작했다고 합니다. 당시에 일론 머스크는 모델 S에 심혈을 기울이면서 가솔린 차를 이길 수 있는 멋진 전기차를 만들어야만 사람들이 전기차를 선택할 강력한 동기가 생긴다고 보았고요. 실제로 그것을 증명해내면서 이 테슬라의 이미지가 완전히 바뀌게 되었습니다. 일론 머스크는 훌륭한 전기차 세단을 만들었으니 이제는 SUV를 만들어야겠다고 생각했는데요. 그것이 모델 X를 만들게 된 이유였다고 했습니다. 참 이유가 간단하죠. 이 모델 X의 모든 기술을 다 옮겨놓고 싶다고 말했었는데요. 그래서 모델 X를 이 러시아 파베르제 가문에서 만든 보석 장식 달걀인 파베르제 에그에 비유하기도 했습니다. 이 모델 S와 X가 있으니 이제 모델 E가 있으면 좋겠다고 생각했는데요. 당시에 포드에 머스탱 마하 E가 있었기 때문에 포드가 네이밍에 관해서 크게 반발하기도 했습니다. 결국 모델 3라고 이름을 지었죠. 가장 가성비 좋은 모델 3를 만들고 나서 이제 모델 Y를 출시하게 됐는데요. 이 로드스터부터 모델 Y까지 테슬라의 역사는 그렇게 만들어졌습니다. 일론 머스크는 공장도 하나의 제품이라고 했습니다. 이 자동차만 제품이 아니고 자동차를 대량으로 만들어내는 공장도 훌륭한 하나의 제품이라는 것이죠. 이 프로토타입을 만드는 것은 쉽지만 대량 생산하는 것은 정말 엄청나게 어려운 일이라는 것을 강조했습니다. 시드를 포함한 많은 전기차 업체들이 대량 생산에 실패하면서 이러한 어려움에 대해서 보여주었죠. 일론 머스크는 이 모든 어려움을 극복하면서 테슬라를 세계 최고의 전기차 기업으로 성장시켰습니다. 도요타와 GM의 합작법인 누미가 사용하던 프리몬트 공장을 인수해서 테슬라 자동차를 대량 생산하기 시작했는데요. 당시 도요타와 GM이 좋은 장비는 다 챙겨가 버려서 공장은 말 그대로 텅 빈 황량한 창고처럼 보였다라고 했는데요. 이런 장소에서 100년 만에 자동차 대량 생산에 성공한 유일한 기업이 바로 테슬라라고 했습니다. 특히 모델 3를 대량 생산해야 했던 2018년은 생산 지옥을 탈출해야 했던 해이고 5년은 늙은 것 같다며 당시를 회상했는데요. 이 어려운 기간을 함께 해준 직원들에게 감사하다는 인사를 전하면서 모델 Y의 출시를 축하했습니다. 전기차 대량 생산을 위해 네바다 기가팩토리를 먼저 지었고 주유소 대신 전기차가 다닐 길목에 슈퍼차저 스테이션을 지었던 일론 머스크의 큰 그림이 더욱 빛났던 행사였습니다. 당시에 전기차 55만 대 누적 생산에 도달했으니 1년 후에는 100만 대 누적 생산에 도달할 것이라고 했고 실제로 목표를 이루었습니다. 모델 Y는 아주 안전한 차로 설계되었고 배터리 팩이 바닥에 있어서 무게중심을 잘 잡아주고 있다고 설명했습니다. SUV지만 스포츠카처럼 탈 수 있고 제로 100에 3.5초가 걸리면서 주행거리도 뛰어나서 모델 S와 X3를 다 합한 것보다도 훨씬 많이 팔릴 거라고 했습니다. 아주 잘 팔릴 거라고 단언했죠. 그 말은 출시 3년이 지난 2023년 1분기에 전 세계 판매량 1위로 증명되었습니다. 일론 머스크의 이야기는 늘 허무맹랑한 이야기처럼 들렸지만 시간이 지나고 보면 다 이루어져 있었죠. 앞으로도 그럴 것이라고 기대해 봅니다. 2019년 모델 Y 출시 이벤트로 가서 일론 머스크를 만나보겠습니다.
Great outfit. Hey. Yes. Yeah. Well, everyone, welcome to the Tesla Design Studio, where we've held many product unveilings before. Hope you guys will all have a really great time tonight. I think I've never seen so many cameras in my entire life. This is cameras everywhere. So we're going to start off by just talking a bit about how did we get here. You know, what are the things that have led to this day? What are the cars like? How did Tesla start out? How did we, you know, where were we 10, 11 years ago? What has happened over that intervening time? You know, because it occurred to me that a lot of people, they only heard about Tesla maybe a year or two ago, and you know, electric cars are kind of like taken for granted. But there was a time when electric cars seemed very stupid, and it wasn't that long ago. And the idea of creating a car company was stupid, of course, and then making an electric car company was like stupidity squared. And so let's take a look at the first car we ever made, the Tesla Roadster. Yeah. All right. It's a bit small. It's great. It's great. So the crazy thing is, if you go back 11 years today, Tesla had made one car. That car. That's serial number 1 of Tesla. So that's my car actually. So on February 2008, we'd literally only made one car, that car. And it didn't really work very well, I have to say. It broke down a lot. And it took us another 3 months just to make the second car. And now we've made about 550,000 cars. Yeah. So, and after the Roadster, essentially what happened with the Roadster is we said, okay, we want to make a car, we want to really break the mold about how do people think about electric cars. They think about electric cars as being slow and ugly and poor performance. So we wanted to have a sports car, you know, a car that is fast, looks good, sexy. That's right. Ha ha. You took the words out of my mouth. So exactly. Sexier. That's right. So the Roadster, the reason we did a sports car is we wanted to create a car that would break the mold for electric vehicles, and that would be sexy and fast and long range, and that's why we did the Roadster. People say that, well, you won't be able to make a car with those specifications, and if you do, nobody will buy it. So we had to prove those two things wrong. And then after we made the Roadster, they said, okay, sure, you can make some toy sports car, but you can't make a sedan. You can't. There's no way you could compete with the luxury sedans that are gasoline, because they're the best. And there's no way you could make an electric car that's like that. So we did. Model S. Exactly. So noisy. Where are all the fumes? Where's the exhaust pipe? Where do you put the gasoline? Yeah. So we actually started designing that car in the rocket factory. So we didn't have a design studio. We took a little corner of the rocket factory, and Franz joined, and we just with a tiny crew in a corner of the rocket factory, we designed that car. I think that car was really important because it was competing against the best of the gasoline cars. So if you can make an electric car that can beat the best of the gasoline cars, it's a very powerful statement to prove that you can go electric. So then, working on from the Model S, which by the way, in terms of where the name comes from, actually I like calling things what they are. So Roadster is called Roadster because it's a roadster. There is no good word for sedan. So we couldn't call it the sedan. It wouldn't work. Or saloon. There's just like literally no word. So the Model S stands for sedan. And this is how out of touch I was. I actually didn't realize at the time that Model S also means models. and then I had like at one point a license plate that said Model S2 because it was like the second production Model S, and it was like, and as I was walking away from my car, I said, "Wow, what a jerk! His license plate says Models 2." Yeah, I'm like, okay, better not have that license plate. So, but then going from the Model S, we said, okay, we want to make the best SUV in the world. We want to do something. We kind of got carried away actually with the Model X. We was like, let's have practically every technology and whiz-bang thing we could possibly think of. The Model X is like, as a car, it's like a Fabergé egg meets a spaceship. It's like, it was insanely difficult, but it is an amazing vehicle. Let's bring it out. Cool. Yeah. You can see a certain position forming, maybe. So the Model X, like I said, it really feels like a Fabergé egg spaceship. It's X for crossover SUV. But then after we had the Model S and Model X, I thought it'd be pretty funny if we had the Model E. But then like Ford threatened to sue us. Ford killed sex. But I said, what if we call it the Model 3? Because that's completely different from me. They said, that's fine. So we have the Model 3. Let's bring out the Model 3. That's right, exactly. Exactly, smart summon with a person. So we made the original Roadster, the Model S, the Model X, the Model 3, and then we also then made the new generation Roadster, which we'll bring in. Sweet. Hey, sure. So, yeah, here we have the original Roadster, the new Roadster. Yeah. And then, hey, how's it going? And then the Semi. Actually, the Tesla Semi drove here nonstop all the way from the Bay Area. So that Tesla Semi, a 500-mile range electric semi. I learned to actually, only after naming the thing, that semi has two meanings. It's semi-sexy. So, yeah, so we're really excited about bringing those products to market. So that's sort of talking about our products. But then the factories are as much the product, if not more, than the vehicles themselves. In fact, I really think like the difficulty and value of manufacturing is underappreciated. It's insanely difficult. It's like relatively easy to make a prototype and extremely difficult to mass manufacture that prototype or to mass manufacture a vehicle reliably and at scale. I mean, even for rockets, I'd say it's probably a factor of 10 harder to design the manufacturing system for a rocket than to design the rocket. And for cars, I'd say it's maybe 100 times harder to design the manufacturing system than to design the vehicle itself. That's what the free market. I don't mean to have it in black and white. It's like it's not so long ago. They didn't even have color cameras back then. It was 2010. But it was very bleak. It's like essentially when we acquired the Fremont factory, which used to be called NUMMI, people sort of thought, oh, you've got a car factory. Now, if you have a car, they sort of think if you have a car factory, you can just make any car. It's like, no, that's like saying you've got a box. And that box can have anything you want in it. No, only if you make the thing in the box. Although we did get we had get a very good deal on the NUMMI factory, Toyota and General Motors actually took all of the good equipment out, and anything that was like so useless it wasn't even worth the scrap was left. So it literally looked like that, but in color. And it took an enormous amount of effort by a very talented team to actually turn essentially what looked like a derelict warehouse into a working car factory. Yeah. So, and in fact, like today, the Fremont factory, which is an enormous building, I think it's like the second or third biggest building in the world by footprint, is so dense, so densely packed with people and robots. Well, this picture has like robots, but there's 20,000 people that work at the Fremont factory across 4 or 5 shifts. So it's really a massive amount of people and robots. So it's like this giant cybernetic collective. So that was way harder than making the car, by far. I mean, it's worth noting, like the last time, at least in the U.S., the last time any car company achieved mass manufacturing was about 100 years ago. That is the last time, and then Tesla. It's literally that crazy. So, the issue is definitely not coming up with a car design. It is absolutely all about building the production system. You want to have a good product to build, but that's basically the easy part. Then the factory is the hard part. Then the challenge is like, okay, if we create a car factory, where the heck are the batteries and electric motors and power electronics going to come from? And that's where we need to decide, okay, we better build something that's capable of 50 gigawatt hours at least of cell output, which at the time when we proposed the Gigafactory, I believe like total global output of lithium-ion batteries for all purposes, phones, laptops, certainly cars, anything, was about 30 gigawatt hours. So we're like, okay, well, just do the basic math. We need 50 gigawatt hours. So we better have a real big factory, or there's no way. So, we were going to build it in California, but like it would have taken 2 years just to get the permits. So we built the Gigafactory in the amount of time it would have taken to get the permits in California. That's what the Gigafactory looked like in 2010. It was basically rocks and bushes, okay? And now this is what it looks like now. Yeah. So, and it's only about a third complete. So this when complete, I think it's about 4 or 5 times the size of the Pentagon. So it's kind of difficult to appreciate scale, but that thing, although it's really quite tall, it's like 70 feet tall. So the volume of it is just mind-blowing. It takes 2 hours just to walk around it. So, you know, again, it's work of a tremendously talented team working like crazy, like tens of thousands of people to produce this factory. And today it produces more lithium-ion than the rest of the world combined. So. Now we're also building a factory in China, which I'm really excited about. As you can see, this very impressive. Very impressive. A large puddle. So when I was there in January, that's what it looked like when we did the groundbreaking ceremony, and this is what it looks like now, 3 months later. But this is what it will look like at the end of the year. So things are moving fast, and this will actually be, once it's complete, the equivalent of our Fremont car factory plus our Nevada battery gigafactory combined. Yeah, so it's integrating the two, which kind of makes sense. So yeah, so we're really excited about this. We're a great team in China, and this is going to be really important for making affordable versions of the Model 3 and Model Y for the greater China market. And then, besides cars, we have some other things. So the solar roof and Powerwall. This is definitely going to be the year of the solar roof and Powerwall. Because of like extreme challenges with the Model 3 production, we have to basically allocate all resources to Model 3 production because otherwise we're going to die. And so basically, it was pretty tight, I have to say. That was a hard one. I would say like 2018 is probably felt like aging 5 years in one. Honestly, it was really intense. So, thank you for supporting Tesla through this difficult period. Thank you. Yeah. Now that Model 3 production is going pretty well, we're going to finally allocate engineering attention to the solar roof as well as the solar retrofit. I'm pretty excited about both the solar tile roof and the solar retrofit and Powerwall. Like part of the reason we couldn't make Powerwall is we couldn't make enough cells. So we had to either allocate cells to the car or to the Powerwall. And I was like, well, we've got to make the cars. So then Powerwall got cell starved, basically. But 2019, so we are now going to ramp it up. And then PowerPack. So PowerPack is kind of like our industrial strength battery storage system, and we did the biggest battery storage system in the world in Australia, and yeah, that was really super cool. And then we're doing one that's roughly a gigawatt-hour scale in California. So just in Southern California, right nearby, we're building a gigawatt-hour scale power pack. And so we expect this to ultimately be really critical for transitioning the world to sustainable energy. Obviously, you have to have sustainable energy production and sustainable energy consumption. So the sustainable energy production needs the solar panels plus the battery, because the sun doesn't shine at night, and then those electric cars, electric vehicles in general. Yeah. So But I mean, the really exciting thing is if you have, with solar plus battery plus electric vehicles, we have a fully sustainable future. This is a future you can feel really excited and optimistic about. I think it really matters. Yeah. And then supercharging. So, you know, the first, in 2010, we had 0 superchargers. So there was no, you couldn't really drive long distances with an electric car in 2010. So it was like, well, okay, we better have some high power chargers, otherwise it's going to be extremely inconvenient to drive long distances. So built into the Model S was a high voltage DC bypass directly to the pack, so you can just sort of mainline power right into the pack. And then we stick it, then nobody was building high power chargers, so like, okay, we better build these high power chargers because nobody's building them. And so we went from 0 superchargers to building a global network of superchargers. Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty nutty. Each one of those is a supercharging site. So supercharging team Tesla did an incredible job building a global network of superchargers that allow you to travel to a massive section of the world, basically anywhere in North America, almost anywhere in Europe, most places in China, not the Gobi Desert yet, but most places. We'll cover the Gobi Desert. We'll get there. And Saskatchewan, I swear to God, there is. I've specifically asked about the Saskatchewan supercharger, and I'm told it is under construction. So, absolutely, I've asked about it like twice. I'm told it's going to be completed soon, and then you will actually be able to drive across Canada. So, yes. Hawaii. Kazakhstan. Actually, we have some great supporters in Kazakhstan. I think we probably we should have. We will build superchargers in Kazakhstan. There you heard it right here. Anyway, we're going to build a lot more superchargers, and we actually have version 3 of the supercharger that we just unveiled. And in fact, yeah. So the superchargers actually started out only at about 75 kilowatts, and now they're at, with version 3, 250 kilowatts, and we think probably can even go a little higher than that. And so if you've got a long-range Model 3, it's capable of charging at about 1,000 miles an hour or 1,600 kilometers an hour. Yeah. So, and we have one working in the Bay Area, and then the one here at the design studio is also working as of tonight. So, yeah. So we're going to be rolling out the version 3 supercharger throughout the world, just gradually upgrading the existing sites as well as adding new sites. So we did slow down the supercharger rollout a little bit because we wanted them to be version 3 instead of version 2. But now that we have version 3 running, and we're going to spool up production, and so you're going to have like a radical improvement in supercharging worldwide by sometime next year. Yeah. So in terms of where we are today, we got obviously the S3 and the X. We've made, I think, 550,000 vehicles, something like that. 12 months from now, we will have made about 1 million vehicles. So it's pretty wild to think that 11 years ago today, we had made literally 1 car, and a year from now, we will have made 1 million. Yeah. I mean, this is a testament to the incredible talent and effort of the people at Tesla. I'll just say thank you to people at Tesla. You guys are incredible. So, yeah, and 4 million tons of CO2 saved. In fact, with the 4 millionth ton, it just ticked over like like an hour ago. So the 4 millionth time just ticked over tonight. Yeah. So, just talking a bit about like, what were the thoughts back then? What were some of the comments? Let's see. The internet is forever. This is a mere like taste. It was like I said, electric cars were considered extremely impossible and stupid, and in various forms. You're a fraud. Blah. Like okay, you can drive that fraud. Okay, and then now things have changed. Yeah. The goal of Tesla was literally this, is like to what degree, in fact, when we created it, we're like, okay, the fundamental historic good of Tesla should be measured by the degree to which we accelerate the advent of sustainable energy and transport. And our goal all along has been to try to get the rest of the car industry to go electric. We did a joint venture thing with Toyota and with Mercedes. We open sourced our patents 3 or 4 years ago. Made them freely available, so it's extremely rewarding to see that the rest of the industry is going electric. This is great. So, and I was just wondering, like, where will Tesla be in 10 years? Mars. Exactly. We will be driving a Tesla on Mars. I think we actually could. Okay. Tesla will be on Mars in 10 years. I think it will. So after that extended history lesson, what about the actual reason you came? Okay. There's a missing car. It starts with a Y, ends with a Y, and that's Y in the middle. Bring out the Model Y. All right. The Model Y. Yeah. So, like the 3, it will be extremely safe. So that you may know the Model 3 has the lowest probability of injury of any car ever tested by the U.S. government. The Model Y, we expect, will have a similar result. 5 stars in every category. With the battery pack low in the floor, it's going to have a very low center of gravity. So this it has the functionality of an SUV, but it will ride like a sports car. So this thing will be really tight in corners, and we expect it will be the safest mid-sized SUV in the world by far. And at Tesla, we actually always design with safety as the #1 goal. It's like people think, okay, performance, sure, but safety first. This is actually by far the most important thing. But it's also going to have incredible performance. So we expect to have 3.5 seconds 0 to 60. Yeah, it's good. And very low center of gravity, so great handling. It's testing out at a 0.23 drag coefficient, which is extremely good for an SUV. And in terms of range, 300 miles. Yeah. So we expect to have an EPA range of, an actual true usable range of 300 miles. So, yeah. Yeah. From an interior standpoint, it has a panoramic glass roof. And by the way, after I'm done here, you guys will be able to come up and like check out the car. So it's like, so it's going to have a panoramic glass roof. It like really feels like, just like the Model 3, if you're in the car, it just feels like you can see the sky. Seat 7, 66 cubic feet. Obviously autopilot and all that. As I've said publicly, we expect to be feature complete with self-driving sometime later this year. And then as we prove out the safety with billions of miles and kilometers, we will, from our standpoint, feel it's like safe enough to not pay attention and then get the regulatory approval sometime thereafter. But the cool thing is feature complete. Like it'll be able to do basically anything by the end of this year. Just with software upgrades, which is pretty cool. So the basically long range one we expect to be about $47,000, and then sometime in 2021 we'll have the sort of standard version, which will have a $39,000 price point. So yeah. No, the 7 seats are optional. Yeah. Do you mean the liftgate? Yes. Okay. I mean, you never know. We might do better than this, but so it should be at least this good. So, so I think it's going to be very, like really compelling. I'm confident that it'll be of any mid-size SUV, it'll be the one you want. Yeah, I think it'll probably sell. I think we'll probably do more Model Ys than S, X, and 3 combined, most likely. Yeah. So, so there you have the sexy presentation. So, all right. Thank you all for coming. Those of you who are here and those of you who are watching, thank you very much for your support over the years. It's been, a hell of a ride. I love you too. I love you too. We are bringing sexy back quite literally. All right, thank you.